Now that we've set up our still life, we're ready to begin drawing it. We're going to use contour lines to draw this, and we're going to need a pencil and an eraser. The first thing we need to think about when we're drawing our still lifes is proportion. We don't want to draw our still life too big, and then some objects don't end up fitting on the paper. So to get around this, I take my pencil and I look to my tallest object, and I figure out where that should end on my paper, and I make a light mark. I do the same thing for the object closest to the bottom, and the object on the far right and the far left. Mapping out our drawing like this helps us know that we're going to fill the whole page with a drawing, and we're going to have space for everything in the drawing. A tool that helps me draw objects accurately is I use my pencil kind of like a compass. So if I'm stuck on trying to figure out the angle of a shape, like the edge of this book for example, I'll pick up my pencil and I will mimic the angle of the edge of the book just by holding my pencil, and then I will, without moving my hand, bring that pencil down to my paper, and then I know I have the exact angle that that book edge is. So you can see here that I noticed my cards were drawn way too small. And I knew that because I looked at the still life that I have in front of me, and I checked where the cards started and stopped in relation to the other objects. This is another way to make sure you got your proportion right. So I know that the cards start where the first edge of that book is, and then they stop around the middle of the book. And that's not how I had it before, so I went and changed that. That's another tool that you should use when you're drawing. Using your objects pretty much as rulers when you're working. That'll just help you stay on the right track as you're drawing and make sure you're placing your objects where they should be going. So I was having a really hard time figuring out where this wooden man was supposed to go. So I used that tool and I checked the other objects around him to kind of help me line him up and have him fall into place. So I observed that the leg that's bent, I think it's, his right leg, it lines up with that other edge of the book. So I even drew a line there myself to help myself know that his leg and then his bent arm will not cross that line right there. So I want you guys to draw lightly when you draw these. We'll be going over these with pen, just like how we did the thumbnails, and you need to be able to erase those pencil marks underneath your pen afterwards. I always use pen when I do contour drawings because it simplifies the drawing. It gives it a more crisp image, and contour drawings are supposed to be simplified. I want you all, when you're working on these, to look back at the PowerPoint, especially the contour line slide where I gave you examples of contour drawings. When we're doing these, we're not just drawing the outline only. We're not only adding that one outside shape. Contour drawings can have details on the inside, like the examples of the shoes. You have outlines of laces and where the soles are. In drawing this plant, I'm just giving it an upper and an underside to each of the vines to give it a more three-dimensional feel. Once you've got the majority of your drawing complete, go back and look to see if there's anything that you missed. I forgot to do the back side of that book, so I'm going to go back and add that, but I probably would have missed it if I hadn't gone back to check. Also add a couple details to your objects, not a ton, but I'm going to give the cards their face value, and I put the 8 on the 8 ball, just to give it some more detail and personality.